Oh, hello, it is I, Gomi, and we are going to be going over UFC 282 for the vacant light heavyweight title. We're going to be looking now at the main event for the vacant light heavyweight title. Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev. This is a fight I was definitely excited for and still am excited for. But I was more excited for it as the co-main event to see who would fight Yuri or Glover next, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not a fan of this being bumped up to the main event, but it's the next best thing, and thankfully it's still a very good fight. And it's going to be one that has huge implications because even if people say, oh, this isn't the real main event, this isn't the real title fight, this is going to decide who Yuri is going to fight when he comes back. Because Glover, honestly, he's out the picture now. The fact that he passed up this fight against Ankalaev, I believe they offered him, you kind of screwed yourself, Glover. I doubt he's going to get another title shot. But regardless, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this, which is going to be an epic light heavyweight title fight. So, getting into it. First, we're going to be looking at the blue corner of Jan Blachowicz, the number 2 ranked light heavyweight. He's going to be 39 years of age. He's going to be 29-9 for his record. 9 KOs, 9 submissions. Lots of 9s. He's going to be 6'2" in height, orthodox stance, 78-inch reach advantage, a 1.08 takedown average, and a 57.82% significant strike accuracy, and he's going to be a plus 210 underdog. That's a little brutal in my opinion. He has significant wins over Israel Adesanya, Dominic Reyes, Alexander Rakic, and Corey Anderson. He actually has, honestly, quite a few more others that I just didn't squeeze in there or were a little too old, but Jan's got a really good record, actually. He's got a pretty good resume. He has a problem, which I'll get into later. Now, Magomed Ankalaev. Honestly, the dark horse of the division. He is the ranked 3 light heavyweight. Nobody talks about him. Nobody has his name in his mouth. Nobody wants to take this fight. Props to Jan for taking this fight, but you can tell he's probably a situation where he had to. But Magomed's scary. Everyone who's a Russian is scary, basically, in the UFC. He's going to be 30 years of age, a record of 18-1, 10 knockouts, not a dang submission. Yeah. Also 0.94% takedown accuracy, takedown average. Yeah. He's a striker, guys. He is most certainly not a Dagestani wrestler. 6'3" in terms of height, orthodox stance, a 75-inch reach disadvantage, a takedown average of 0.94, 63.44% significant strike accuracy. That's good. And then he's also going to be a negative 260 favorite. Boasting significant wins over Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Volkan Oezdemir, and Ian Cutelaba. Oh man, this is going to be a really good fight. Very good fight. And it's going to be a hard one for me. I'm going to get the bias out the way. I'm going to root for my fellow Polski. That is why I'm going to root for Jan Blachowicz. I'm going to pick him. I'm going to put money on him. If he was not Polish, I'd be picking Magomed. I'll be perfectly honest with you. That's all you need to hear from the video. But also, I do want to go over this fight because there's a lot to go over at this fight. So, Jan Blachowicz. Jan Blachowicz's path to victory is going to be a rough one. I do think he has a better chance than plus 210, but I do think it's going to be a very, very hard fight. And yeah, perfectly honest with you, this is his hardest fight in the division, possibly. Like, I think he'd have an easier time in a rematch against Glover or a fight against Yuri than Magomed, to be perfectly honest with you. Mainly because Jan Blachowicz is a very good striker. For example, a lot of people lean towards the Israel Adesanya fight. A lot of people look at Israel Adesanya and say, oh, Jan beat him because he is 30 pounds heavier. Yes, that's a factor. But that's not the main predominant reason. Because if you look at that fight, Jan Blachowicz out kickboxed Izzy. Then he started to get a little tired. That's when Izzy started to take the pace, started to sway towards Izzy a little bit. So that's when he used his wrestling and size advantage. He did not break that out until the last 2 rounds. For the majority of the fight, Jan Blachowicz had excellent defense, checking the kicks, checking Izzy's like kind of like jabs he has, because he has a really good straight jab that a lot of people don't talk about. He was doing an amazing job defensively, and then towards the end, he kind of point fight a little bit, to be honest with you. His offense was not insane. Because that's something I'm going to bring up about Jan Blachowicz that people don't realize. The legendary Polish power thing is not all it's made up to be perfectly honest with you. Yes, that's his knockdown average. His knockdown average is nothing crazy, to be honest with you. Because if you look at it, Magomed has a higher knockdown average. In fact, I feel most light heavyweights have a higher knockdown average. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Izzy has a higher knockdown average. I think Rockhold does. Rockhold does. Rakic. Almost everyone I'm looking on this list right here. Almost everyone. So Anthony Smith, Alexander Rakic, Rockhold. Anderson does not. Wait, no. Yeah, Anderson does not. Izzy, Reyes, Magomed, everyone has a higher knockdown average. Legendary Polish power is not why Jan is so terrifying. Jan is more of a pressure striker, and he's very smart where he hits. A good example of this being the Reyes fight. Main thing about Reyes and why he was able to beat him so badly was because of his excellent combinations. He would always go with that 1-2 and follow it with a brutal left body kick. He just destroyed his ribs to the point where, honestly, I could have probably knocked out Reyes with the damage that Jan did to him. Like, get me in that exact same spot and let me land a hit on Reyes, that would have knocked him out. Because to be honest with you, most of the reason why Reyes got knocked out was because of the sheer amount of damage that Jan Blachowicz did to his body. And it just wore him out, and it made him crumble. A lot of times, too, Jan will just take these guys down to the ground, and he submits a lot of guys. He's got 9 submissions. He's honestly, like, leaning more towards a submission guy, to be perfectly honest with you. For example, his fight against Clark. That was a submission. That was not a lot of striking it, to be honest with you. Now, what's going to be Jan's main problem in this fight? His main problem is going to be chokes. Simple as that. He has a lot of really good names that I haven't mentioned. Per example, besides the names that I have on here, he took out Luke Rockhold. That's a really good win right there for him. Yeah, I know, weak chin, Luke Rockhold, whatever. That's still Luke Rockhold. He's also taken down Cannonier, which is a good one. Jimmy Manua. Nikita Krylov. He's got some good wins, but he chokes against top guys. Like, he lost to No Knee Santos, which is, yes, Thiago Santos hits hard. He's got power. But losing to him at this point, after Thiago Santos's like knees were kind of weakened, and he lost to Patrick Cummins. Nothing wrong with losing to Gustafsson at this point in the Gustafsson's career. But Patrick Cummins, man, I don't know. Jan seems to choke. His main choke, honestly, was his most recent loss, where he lost the title to Glover Teixeira. There's also leading into Glover Teixeira had an insane career renaissance, and he got really good. But everything on paper leaned towards Jan Blachowicz easily winning that. He did not. He was dominated in both striking and on the ground. And now he's going to be facing Magomed Ankalaev, who Magomed Ankalaev is an insane striker, an elite striker. But don't forget this, he's not just a really good striker, he's a really good takedown artist as well too. He's got good ground game. It's just not his focus. He doesn't have the same level of ground game as these Dagestanis do, but what he does have is, oh man, his striking is good. He is super accurate. He knows exactly where to hit people, and he can do damage while not having a ton of power. Like, he has good power, but I'd say it's only slightly underneath Jan's. It's not like Jan has this insane legendary Polish power. Like, he's no Rumble Johnson. That much I'll tell you. But Ankalaev has a special ability of taking people out with power, with sheer accuracy. Guys like Thiago Santos, guys like Ion Cutelaba, they crumble to honestly just his skill. Simple as that. We saw in the rivalry with Cutelaba. Granted, the first fight was one of the worst stoppages of all time because in terms of how early it was, because Cutelaba was playing possum. We saw in the second fight how that goes, though. We saw just Ankalaev just countershot him. He just did so much counter damage to him. To be honest with you, the only time we really seen insane power from Jan Blachowicz is honestly Corey Anderson, where he one-shot KO'd him. But we're not going to see that against Magomed Ankalaev, who's very good at bobbing and weaving and very good at dodging and getting out of the way of shots. Like, he's very good at just making sure he doesn't get hit. Simple as that. And he also has excellent takedown defense. And then couple that with the fact that he's very good at making sure he hits you. Simple as that. I am not a fan of Jan Blachowicz' chances. Magomed is a scary, scary guy. And we saw, honestly, in his last fight, Jan was not looking super good against Alexander Rakic. Yeah, a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's because Rakic broke his leg. That's the reason why Jan won. No. Rakic's leg was hurt from Jan checking those kicks because Alexander Rakic was focusing more so on low leg kicks, like calf kicks and stuff like that. Jan Błachowicz is excellent checking those. Ask good old Israel Adesanya, who honestly looked like he was hitting a tree bark. But Magomed Ankalaev is very good at higher up kicks, which Jan Blachowicz is very flat-footed. I don't know if he's going to be bobbing and moving out the way of those. He's going to be taking those on the arm, and ask Kevin Holland how good it is to take kicks to the arm. He'll tell you it's not very good following his fight against Wonderboy the other night. Overall, Magomed just has more tools to win this fight, to be honest with you. Jan Blachowicz has a good reach advantage, which I hope he utilizes, but I don't think he's going to be taking him down. I saw him training a lot of wrestling. I don't think that's what he should be doing. What he should be doing is focusing on fighting a person who bobs and weaves and cannot be hit. Someone who's hard to kind of like land and nail, and then if you rush in there recklessly, he will counter shot you to oblivion. It's going to be a hard fight for Jan, but I believe in the legendary Polish power. My official prediction is I'm going to lead towards a Magomed Ankalaev decision. But what I hope for is I'm hoping for a Jan Blachowicz TKO. Let me know what you think of this fight in the comments section below. And this has been Gomi. Bye-bye.